What's up, YouTube interwebs? This is Booty the Drunk Guitarist, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about Paul CIAnCIA and the LAX shooting. Now, I'm not trying to pass judgment on whether this is a false flag or not. That's up to you to decide. But I do want to talk to you about how they're spinning this. I'm not even going to get mad about it. I hope you watch all of this video. Please, take the time to watch this entire video, because I will get copyright strikes and I will lose my channel over it.
And the accused gunman may have been a conspiracy theorist. Federal officials say he had materials referencing the New World Order. CNN's Pentagon correspondent Barbara Starr, she's live in Washington now. Barbara, let me ask you this. Do you know anything at this point what officials are saying about this?
Well, some information is now emerging. Our justice reporter, Evan Perez, has spoken to federal law enforcement official who says materials found on the shooting suspect did include a rant that appeared to reference that New World Order, as well as anti-TSA, anti-government claims. It's not clear what really gave rise to these references. Federal investigators have found no known links to any groups or anything in the suspect's background to explain them. For people perhaps not familiar, New World Order is generally accepted to be a conspiracy theory where people believe that there are elites out there forming some sort of special authoritarian government. This is the generally accepted view of what New World Order means.
They're spinning this that this is a man who believed in the New World Order conspiracy, and because of that, he's a nut job. Apparently, the New World Order is a conspiracy about a one-world government that no government official has ever talked about. So let's look at this.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
And this.
In 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
And this.
I think his task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
And this.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
And this.
Is there a plan for a new world order, a one world government, and how do we stop it?
Well, I think even our first President Bush said that the New World Order was in tune, and that's what they were working for. The UN is part of that government.
He also supposedly has no record with the FBI or any association with anybody that's anti-government.
Paul Anthony CIAnCIA, as Carter said, he's from New Jersey, but a lot doesn't emerge. What you don't see is a thick criminal record. You don't see other violent acts. What you don't see is references to him in the FBI files. Yet,
I see what you did there. Well played, sir. Well played.
What you do see today, according to investigators, is he walks into the terminal. He's got the gun in a garment bag. He takes the rifle out. He opens fire. Shoots his way through the checkpoint, going down a side, coming around the back, and he's focused on the TSA agents. Inside the bag, we are told investigators came up with notes saying that the TSA were fascists and pigs, anti-American rantings, anti-TSA rantings, and references to the New World Order, which is kind of a growing conspiracy group that believes the world is going to be taken over by forces in black helicopters and so on.
Once again, here we go, set it up. Nobody has no record with the FBI, have never been arrested. So if you believe in what your president and the president before him and the president before him and Henry Kissinger and Ron Paul have said about the New World Order, and you've never been to jail, then you're a fucking terrorist, and you're going to go shoot up a fucking airport or something like that. So, don't say New World Order, because, what's this guy saying?
To the New World Order, which is kind of a growing conspiracy group that believes the world is going to be taken over by forces in black helicopters and so on.
Oh, black helicopters might come get us? You sure? Let's look at this and see.
Sight of Army helicopters and the sound of gunfire created a lot of concern this afternoon in one Houston neighborhood. This happened in southeast Houston around the old Carnegie Vanguard High School. We received a ton of phone calls from worried neighbors wondering what was going on. Well, Eyewitness News reporter Jessica Willie is live to explain what it was. Jessica?
Yeah, Dave, it was frightening for sure, and to some at nearby Roberts Elementary, so unexpected that the school was locked down for a short time until everyone realized it was a drill. With military helicopters flying above her southeast Houston neighborhood, Frances Geralds didn't know what to think.
You know, when you see this, you think the worst. Right. When you hear this, you think the worst.
And so she passed along her concern.
She told me, don't come home because it sounds like we're in a war zone. Guns shooting and helicopters flying around over the house.
The Army, along with other agencies, had taken over the old Carnegie Vanguard High School. There were armed men in fatigues, plenty of weapons, and what many thought were real live rounds.
I felt like I was in a war zone. It just was nonstop. So I was terrified.
Turns out it was a multi-agency training drill that Geralds wished would have come with warning.
They could have done a better job at notifying the neighborhood.
Others needed no explanation.
If it's to protect our kids, I'm all for it.
And an Army major who was out here wouldn't tell us exactly what kind of training they were doing. HPD was aware of what was going on, but the fire department apparently wasn't. In fact, an ambulance was even dispatched this way for a shots fired call until HPD told them it wasn't real. Reporting live tonight from Southeast Houston, Jessica Willie, 13 Eyewitness News.
Maybe you heard it, maybe you saw it. I did. A lot of you on Facebook and Twitter said you did too. Lights and sounds booming through the darkness of night in parts of South Florida. The noise that is leaving many of us sleepless in the city.
Well, tonight we're showing you exactly what it was and what was going on. The Night Team's Mike Marza is live in Coconut Grove with the story. Mike?
Lynn, so the U.S. Department of Defense says it gave some notice to people in this area near Miami City Hall. A lot of those people include tourists that were down here visiting. So just imagine you sort of come down to South Florida, want to relax, nestle into your bed, and just after you click off 7 News at 11, this happens. It's like a scene out of an overseas military mission, but this is Coconut Grove.
We saw like flashes and shooting, and they like the Black Hawk had like a Gatling gun in the front, and you could hear it open up and fire off. And
for Art Tomczak, the 3-day U.S. military training exercise with Miami police added entertainment to his trip from Buffalo, New York.
We got a thing in our room that said that they were going to have maneuvers, but I figured it would be like the next day or something like that, but not in the middle of the night.
But witnesses say the training soared in the skies over Coconut Grove overnight.
All of a sudden I hear this zoom, and I go, oh, airplanes. I wonder how close we are to airport.
The simulation's so real, unknowing witnesses blew up social media, like Carlos, who tweeted, "What's up with all the planes and the big black helicopter flying over Miami? Feels like a Badabad." He's referring to the site of the deadly raid on Osama bin Laden in Pakistan last year. Some people even called 911.
A lot of people have called in a panic. It's no need to panic.
Similar training lit up the skies over Brickell last year. This time it happened near Miami City Hall. Not so good if you're trying to sleep, but a bonus to tourists like Art heading back to Buffalo with yet another South Florida story.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. Yeah. My son will get a kick out of it, that's for sure.
So as Art makes his way back up to New York, the U.S. Department of Defense here and Miami police say at least this particular training exercise is now complete. So South Florida, sleep tight. Live in Coconut Grove, Mike Marza, 7 News. night. People up on the balconies have been taking some video of this. Let's show you the first piece of video as someone shot some video of some of these choppers, military-style choppers, flying over 395 in downtown. This was last night. They shot all of this video. Now, the sight is impressive, but just imagine if you could hear some of the activity that was happening here. Let's take a listen to the second piece of video. All right, so some blank rounds of gunfire pinging off the high-rises here in downtown Miami.
Now, first of all, I'm going to tell you straight up, those of us that know about the New World Order and are aware to the things that are going on are not going to go shoot up something with New World Order writings and shit in our bags. I mean, are you fucking kidding me right now? First of all, we're not going to go shoot up something because we don't believe in that. Because that's what the New World Order does. They go in and create war. We sit back, we prep, we prepare, and we wait for this to happen. And it's going to happen. What did George Herbert Bush say?
When we are successful, and we will be.
Spooty Drunk Guitarist, and I'm out.